Marilyn Rucker is a law student looking for something more fulfilling in life, and she's found chocolate and lasagna do the trick. Now here's Marilyn with her lyrical lasagna.
Well, hello Austin. My name's Marilyn Rucker, and I'm welcoming you now to another edition of Austin Cooks. And today we're going to learn how to make lasagna. Yes, I know I don't look Italian. I don't look a thing like Cher, but I can do it. I've done it before. This is from an old Italian recipe I got from an old Italian woman, and she showed me how to do it. So zero in on this. I've got 5 or 6 cloves here of garlic. I'm going to chop them up. The garlic is probably the most important part of your lasagna. You want to mince them really fine, trying not to get your fingers into the act. And lots and lots of garlic. That's the best part. All right, and you pulverize them a bit. For those of you who like cutting, lasagna is really a very therapeutic thing. And now you're going to take these garlic cloves and put them over here. But first, you're going to take the extra virgin olive oil. Someone explain that to me. I don't know how you can be extra virgin, but that's what it says on the bottle here. Turn on the burner. I heard it turn on. We're going to pour in about a tablespoon of the extra virgin, extremely pure olive oil. Move it around that pan, get it all nice and greasy. You're going to drain that off later, so don't worry about it. All of you heart patients. Okay. You put your garlic in, and the neighborhood knows that you're cooking something good, because garlic's going to make a wonderful smell. You add the onions in. And the lady next door is smelling it, and her husband's asking her why she doesn't cook that way for him. And she asks him why he never cooks. And they have a domestic squabble, but you're not worried about that because you're going to have something good for dinner tonight. So you let the onions and the garlic sit in there for a little bit, and they're going to get all nice and translucent. Softened up and cooked in the olive oil, and the smell's wafting around, and you start feeling a little bit more Italian. Yeah. If you want to, you can sing. That adds to the charm of the whole recipe. Ed entro lontana, come valego mi andrate. That's all the Italian I know. Get it in there. And then you're going to add 1 pound of hamburger. My hands are clean. I washed them. You're going to crumble that up in there with the onions and the garlic. And get it going. And by this time, if you have kids, they should be in here wanting to know when it's going to be done. If it's soup yet, you have to tell them it's not going to be done for a while because lasagna takes a while. And lasagna is a really easy thing to put together, but it takes a little while to do it. And that's good because if it takes you a while to do a recipe, even though it's easy, people respect you for it and they think you've put in a whole lot of work that maybe you really didn't. That's why this is such a great recipe. So you've got your hamburger in. And then you're going to add some sausage. I use about half a tube of this stuff. My hands are clean, really they are. It's always good to wash your hands before you cook, just like you learned in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts. You're going to get them there in the pan. And this is going to be the basis of your sauce. And the sauce is the most important thing in lasagna. And the worst mistake you can make when you're making a sauce is adding water. Never do that. There are too many recipes that call for adding water, and you never want to do it. You always want to rely on your tomatoes to give you the moisture. Now we're going to stir it up. Let it brown. Now in the meantime, while you're letting it all brown and get all soft, and let those flavors mixed, you want to be shredding your mozzarella cheese. And I've already done that. And then you're going to get a little cottage cheese. This is for later. And I use about half of one of these big things. It's about, 8 ounces. If you look in here, I've added oregano and basil and some pepper, and I've stirred it all up. And that's going to be good. It's going to be one of your layers. And you're also going to have some grated Romano cheese. Now you can grate it yourself. I'm feeling lazy today, so I got this already pre-grated. And grated Parmesan cheese. Lots of cheeses in this. That's what makes it good. Let's turn it nice and brown. Stir it up. It doesn't take too long to get this sauce going. Ideally, what you want to do is get everything mixed up, and I'm going to show you how to get it all mixed up, and let it sit there for about 3 hours. By that time, your family's getting really impatient. They really want to eat it because it smells so good, and it's almost unbearable, and you can sit there and smile and say, "It's not ready yet." People next door are contemplating divorce. You've got people at your doorstep wanting to know what you're cooking. I'll stand by this recipe. If you don't have a boyfriend, it'll get you one, or girlfriend. Well, that's browning up. You could be opening up your cans of sauce. Now this is a real easy recipe. I've already opened these up. Move them in for the kill. You've got a can of stewed tomatoes, a can of tomato sauce, and a little can of tomato paste. And this is where you get all your moisture. Don't add any water like I said before. And what we've got in here right now, we've got the chopped up cloves of garlic. I put 4 or 5 of them in there. And a little tablespoon of olive oil. And about 1 medium-sized yellow onion. A pound of lean ground beef. And a pound of sausage. And I'm getting it all browned up and nice. I wish you could smell it. You'd be salivating. Mmm. Getting it all cooked up, spilling it everywhere. Cooking is not a neat thing. It should never be a neat thing. Let everything spill around the kitchen. Makes people respect you. They know you've done a lot of hard work. I always like to put a few Band-Aids on after I try something like this so they know I've really suffered for my art. Not that I cut myself. I'm no masochist. Okay, starting to get nice and brown here. Make sure you get everything all browned. I'm not one for raw meat. Okay. Now once you've got it all brown, you're going to bring it on over and drain it. This is not a pretty sight. I suggest you with weak stomachs avert your eyes. But you're going to drain out the excess fat so that doesn't go and clog your arteries. Makes this into a healthier dish. Woo! Even lean hamburger meat has some fat in it. But that's what makes it good. This is probably not the prescribed way to drain fat. I see people with sieves do it, but I like to live dangerously. Okay. Now you've got your drained hamburger and onions and garlic and sausage. Now you're going to start throwing things in, and this is where you can start feeling a little bit like a witch and cackle a bit. It'll really impress your kids if you do that. Yeah, I do that pretty well. Yeah. Bile, bubble, toil, and trouble. I've scared a few people this way. That's all right, though. Faint-hearted people should not eat lasagna. Okay. Stir it up. Oh, man. Your kids are begging you to have it done by now. Feed them some crackers or something. Not too many. Don't want to spoil their appetites. This ought to be done in about an hour or so. It's a good thing to start at the middle of the day before supper, though. It's not one of those quick microwave dinners. If your children have been living on Stouffer's, they're going to really enjoy this. If you've been living on Stouffer's, you're going to be enjoying this. Not that Stouffer's is bad. Don't want them to get mad at me. Okay. It's always good to have something homemade there. Stir it up. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice mess. Okay. Food should be messy. Yeah. Okay. Now, oh boy, I got a mess here. You can tell this is a prop kitchen. I usually have like 6 or 7 spoons and 1,500 bowls, and I get everything messy. All right, now you're going to start adding your spices to this, so you're going to want to reduce the heat a little. You're going to lower it down to simmer. Now you want to put in a teaspoon of sweet basil, whatever you want to call it. You're going to put in a pinch or 2 of rosemary leaves. You want to crumble them up a little bit. That releases the flavor. You've got a teaspoon of parsley flakes. Really good stuff. Teaspoon of oregano. There's a lot of spice in here, but it really gets good. Thyme. Teaspoon of thyme. This is one time you get to use parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, so you can sit there and listen to Simon and Garfunkel while you cook it if you want. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Here's some salt. I think we got all those in there. Now you're going to stir it up. And here's where you're really going to make your kids and family hate you, because you're going to leave it there on the stove. Now ideally you want to leave it on the stove for about 3 hours, but no human I've known can wait that long. You might want to do this when nobody else is home, and you might be able to make it that entire 3 hours. So I usually let it sit for about an hour, and it's just as good. It lets the spices all mix together and sort of gets the flavors right and mixed in. That's really good stuff. All right. You're letting it sit there and simmer for a bit. And while you've been letting it simmer, you've been cooking your lasagna noodles. I'm going to bring out these guys I've got cooked here, barring any unfortunate accidents. I'll bring them over to this nice work area here. Blech. All right, I left that out. Let's not look at that anymore. Putting them on aluminum foil will keep them nice and fresh and not sticking. Of course, if you run out of aluminum like I have here, you may have to improvise, but that's all right. Cooking should be improvised sometimes. It's better than stopping because you don't have the exact thing you need. Now I'm going to do something that I don't do in real life, but it'll still be good. I'm going to go ahead and take this sauce off the burner, and I'm going to show you how you put this together. I'm going to need my little pan here. You need your sauce, and you need all those cheeses that you did earlier. You got mozzarella, cottage cheese with sweet basil and oregano and pepper in it. You've got Parmesan cheese and Romano cheese. And you've got your noodles, and you've got your meat sauce. And now it's where you start throwing it all together, and this is the fun part. It's like making mud pies. You go to the pan, and you put a little bitty smear of the sauce on the bottom. It doesn't have to be even, but this will keep all the noodles from sticking. And it gives you a base for putting everything on there. Oh, this is great. I wish you could smell it. Wish you could eat it, but I'm going to get to eat it. That's the best part. All right. And then you're going to take a nice layer of noodles. Ooh, this is fun. And this is a 13 by 9 by 2 pan. I didn't grease it, I just put the meat sauce down. And 3 noodles usually fills it nicely. Then you're going to put another layer of meat sauce. You're going to put on more this time. You want to cover the noodles with it. It goes pretty fast. This is good stuff, I tell you. People next door are moving out of their apartment, all upset that they don't get to eat this. Of course, you could avert their problems and invite them over for dinner, but if you don't like them, it's probably one of the worst things you can do to them. Cook lasagna with the windows open. Of course, now everybody's going to have the recipe, so that probably won't be a problem anymore. That's all right, though. Gotta share your cooking. I don't hold with these secret recipe things, you know. Okay. Now you spread out all that stuff in there, and then you're going to do a little layer of mozzarella. Whee! Oh, this is fun. Cooking should be fun. I always liked finger paints and things. Just textures and stuff. The other day I went and got a bunch of Play-Doh. We made some really interesting things. Martians, bunny rabbits, blue and green. Cooking, though, is more fun because you can eat it when you're through. Play-Doh just kind of dries up and cracks. All right. You're going to put on another layer of noodles. Isn't this fun? I'm having fun. I hope you are, too. And aren't you glad? I haven't mentioned a thing about bananas in this cooking show, and I hope that you're grateful for this. I don't want everything to get the same on TV. I like bananas, though, don't get me wrong. All right, now you're going to do another layer of this sauce. Glop it on there. This is so much fun. And it smells good. Your children love you. They're singing songs in your name and praising you. Your boyfriend was going to start dating other people, and now he's reconsidering. Oh, lasagna. Lasagna could cure the world's ills. I don't know. Italians know that. Yeah, they're great people. Pizza, lasagna, spaghetti. All right. Now you wondered what we were going to do with this stuff. Well, yeah, it doesn't look real good, but it tastes delicious. It's cottage cheese, oregano, and sweet basil. You're going to put it in the layer here, and it's going to look all lumpy and everything. You can use ricotta cheese too. Cottage cheese was on special though. Tastes just the same to me. I'm easily pleased though. But this is good. People who are not easily pleased like it too. All right. Oh yeah. Then you make it all nice and messy. This isn't going to be the top part. You don't want people to see this. You just want them to eat it. They'll know it's good. People are funny about things. They don't want to see something like this and know they're eating it, but they like it. Okay. You're going to put on your last layer of noodles. I always like to make an extra noodle just in case one of them breaks. Usually takes about 9 noodles. 9 noodles plus an extra. If you're feeling compulsive and want to count things. Come here. Okay, this is where you get to layer on all the rest of that good sauce. This is really going to make people hungry now. They're going to think it's all done too. That's the fun part, because you're going to get this all done, and then you're going to put it in the oven for an hour. And your kids have been sitting here waiting for you to get this finished and put it all together. And you have to tell them that they're going to have to wait a little longer. It's a good way to teach patience. You know, it beats sitting there watching an apple rot any day. Okay. Not that I'd want to watch an apple rot, but I've heard somebody say that was a Zen-like thing to do. Learn a little self-control. Lasagna is much better than rotted apples. Okay. You're going to finish it up with the rest of your mozzarella cheese. You've got 3 layers in here. This is good stuff. Sprinkle on your Parmesan as much as you want. If you grate the Romana cheese yourself, you may want about 4 ounces of it. I use about 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese and a lot of Parmesan. Haven't bothered to measure it. I just do it until the smell reaches me really strong and then I stop. The Romana cheese is a bit stronger. So you might not want to use as much, but I like it, so I'm going to. Then you're going to put it over in the oven at 350 and cook it for 45 minutes. You let it sit for about 10 minutes and it's going to be done. And I just happen to have, through the magic of television, a done lasagna. Ooh, that's done. We'll pull it out. It's all browned. And your children are praising you and singing and life is good and merry, and you pull out the wine and the tossed salad and sit down and put on some opera and you're set. And that's all there is to it. Thanks a lot.
Stay tuned for the recipe for Lyrical Lasagna. Lyrical Lasagna. First, for the meat sauce, 1 medium yellow onion chopped, 3 cloves garlic chopped, 3 tablespoons oil, 1 pound ground beef, 1/2 pound Italian sausage, optional. 1 12-ounce can tomato sauce, 1 16-ounce can tomato paste, 1 12-ounce can stewed tomatoes, 1/2 teaspoon each salt and pepper, 1 teaspoon each oregano, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Sauté onions and garlic in oil until translucent. Drain oil. Add meat and cook until just browned. Drain excess fat. Pour in tomato ingredients, breaking up stewed tomatoes. Add spices and mix thoroughly. Simmer for 1 hour. For the cottage cheese layer, take 1 6-ounce carton cottage cheese, 1 teaspoon parsley, 1 teaspoon oregano, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon pepper. Mix ingredients thoroughly. For the cheese layer, 8 ounces mozzarella grated, 4 ounces Romano grated, 4 ounces Parmesan grated. Lightly mix cheeses and set aside. For the noodle layer, 1 box lasagna noodles. Prepare noodles as directed on box. Spread a thin layer of meat sauce on the bottom of a 13-inch by 9-inch by 2-inch pan to prevent noodles from sticking. Add a layer of noodles, meat sauce, and 1/2 3-cheese mixture. Add a layer of noodles, meat sauce, and all of the cottage cheese mixture. Repeat the first layer using the rest of the 3-cheese mixture. Bake at 350 degrees for 1 hour and enjoy. Tune in next Saturday at 6 p.m. on Channel 10 for pastry chef Shara Payne's cream puffs and mini eclairs on Austin Cooks.